stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back, get your lick back. If a nigga owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Give me that. To the trends. See you, Lee, be the band.
Good evening. No, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Postgame Podcast. We're here with another episode. I wanted to give you a reaction on the... Hold on, let me change it up a little bit here. So I wanted to give you a reaction on the Charlotte Hornets game against the Detroit Pistons last night. The Pistons were victorious, 98-94, against a shorthanded Charlotte Hornets team who was heading in a hopefully a much different direction than the Detroit Pistons. But it was a hard-fought game. We had a rough first half. The Hornets shot very well, and I feel like the Pistons were a little bit out of sorts. It's only this is our first game removed from Jaden Ivey, obviously having that devastating injury to his leg, and it was going to be interesting to see how we bounce back from that. We're on a back-to-back. We got a game tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are a tough team in the Western Conference. And I was real curious to see who started the game in place of Jaden Ivey, and not somebody that I would have expected. I was anticipating that either they would pull Malik Beasley off the bench and be a starter alongside Cade and Tim Hardaway, or possibly more likely Asar Thompson, but they elected to go with Wendell Moore, which JB Bickerstaff made a statement basically saying that in the few opportunities that Wendell Moore has had to play, he has been, he's worked hard and played well. With that said, he did not have a very good night offensively. I think he airballed a couple of balls. Honestly, a couple of our guys did. I think Tim Hardaway airballed one. I think Cade airballed one. We were just a little bit off yesterday. And it's honestly a blessing that we were able to come away with a victory. We have now won 4 of the last 5 games, and 2 in a row. So we got a tough game coming up against the Timberwolves, but we won't get to that just yet. This was a game where, if you're watching on the visual side of things, Tobias Harris turned back the clocks and showed his vintage self. He was getting into the passing lanes, getting some steals. He shot very well from the corner. That's definitely his signature shot, is that shot from the corner. He has struggled to shoot the ball this year, but he's really stepped up. He's a guy that is a good complementary glue guy, but not a guy that you want to depend on to be the number 2 person at this stage of his career. But he had a great game yesterday. He had 24 points and 10 rebounds. And this was a game that, like I said, in the first half, we definitely struggled. This is a Charlotte Hornets team that did not have LaMelo Ball. It did not have Brandon Miller and probably a few other guys. But we always seem to struggle with the teams that have, just decent 7-footers. I mean, I'm not going to act like Nick Richards and Mark Williams are elite, big men, but Mark Williams had 18 points and 9 rebounds, and Nick Richards had 10 and 4. So they gave us all that we could handle down inside, but we were able to weather the storm. I want to say we were down like 9 points going into the half. Actually, the last play of the game was a play where we tried to throw the ball all the way down the court. Miles Bridges intercepts the pass, and then hits like a long three to end the half. So I mean, it ended the half ended on probably the least likely, but also the worst case scenario. Miles Bridges always plays Detroit tough. He had 20 points and 9 rebounds. He had some opportunities to seal the game at the end of the game, but he wasn't able to do so. But this was a game that we had a lot of controversial calls. Cade Cunningham was in foul trouble for most of the game. He went into the half with three fouls, and I really feel like they were some pretty. I think that there were some pretty unnecessary calls, like reach-in calls where you just didn't need to do it. But ultimately, we had to, find other people to be successful because, Cade was in foul trouble for a lot of the game. But there was a lot of controversial calls. There was a alleged foul on Tobias Harris where he got a tech, and which they ended up overturning the foul, but the tech stood. Obviously, JB Bickerstaff had a tech, I think, on that same, because of that same play, and also a loose ball foul by Tim Hardaway, where we had a breakaway opportunity, and Hardaway kind of got in the way of Simpson. Which ultimately wiped away the bucket. But the turning point, one of the turning points of the game was definitely a block by Isaiah Stewart on. I don't know who it was. I think it was Josh Green. It was a block on somebody on an attempted dunk, which led to the fast break opportunity for Tobias Harris. But this was a hard fought, gritty match. The Pistons, not the Lions, did not play their best, but they did enough. Malik Beasley had a lot of open 3-point opportunities that he was not able to convert on. Marcus Sasser didn't have it tonight. He only had 3 points. He played 22 minutes. He's one of the guys that's definitely going to see more time with Ivy out, as well as Asar Thompson and who else? Yeah, Asar Thompson. Wendell Moore, obviously he got the start. I don't think he will start the game tonight, but he played 15 minutes in the starting role. But yeah, it was, like I said, it wasn't our best. It wasn't our best performance. Hopefully we play better tonight. We certainly had some opportunities to shut the door. Jalen Duren had a missed dunk, which led to a cherry pick dunk opportunity from Miles Bridges. Asar Thompson missed 2 free throws down the stretch. Tim Hardaway missed a free throw down the stretch. Guys that you don't expect to. Asar Thompson, he's only shooting 40% from the free throw line, so that didn't surprise me. But I certainly didn't expect Hardaway to miss his first free throw. He was able to knock down the second one, which sealed the victory for the Pistons. But definitely some things to clean up. Asar Thompson gave us some good minutes last night. Paul Reed, he played 5 minutes last night, and in 5 minutes, he's now tied for a second in Pistons history with, I believe, 2 blocks and a steal in like 4 or 5 consecutive games. He played 5 minutes last night. This is a guy that he doesn't get many minutes, but the minutes that he plays are very impactful. He creates turnovers. He puts us in a position to get out in transition. And Duren is a dynamic player. He's hyper athletic. He had 10 points and 14 rebounds, 25 minutes. But I don't know. Yeah, Reed just, even if it's just in limited opportunities, he always finds a way to make an impact on the game. And he just just gives us a shot in the arm even in limited opportunities. But yeah, that block by Isaiah Stewart was definitely a key play in the game. And as I have said many times before, when we are able to create turnovers and get out in transition, we have the players that can finish, finish in those transition opportunities. That's why I like guys like Paul Reed, Ron Holland, Asar Thompson. I don't anticipate that Malik Beasley. I mean, I know 3-point shooters can be very streaky. Sometimes they're on, sometimes they're hot, and sometimes they're not. But I gotta expect that Malik Beasley is not going to continue to shoot at the clip that he shot in the last 3 games. We certainly will need him. I love how Tobias Harris is playing tonight, but I also cannot expect that he will continue to average 20 plus points a game. So Cade Cunningham's gotta be more selective with with how he takes his fouls. I know we had a rough set of officials last night, and JB Bickerstaff certainly let them have it all night and in the post game. But this is a deep team. This is a team that Bobby Clement still has not he still has not touched the floor. He hasn't got his first minutes as a Detroit Piston yet. But part of that is because we have so many players that can get out on the floor. So we'll see how things go. I'm gonna pull up. Actually, I'm gonna take a break, and then we're gonna pull up the schedule. All right. So as I said earlier, we have a game tonight against the Timberwolves at 7:00, which is a tough team. But upcoming on the schedule, we actually have a nice little schedule coming up. We got the Trailblazers, who are competing for the lottery. We got the Brooklyn Nets, who have steadily traded away, some of their assets for draft capital. They're certainly not competing. Well, actually, I think they're competing pretty well, but I think they're planning on getting a lottery pick as well. In between that, we have the Golden State Warriors, and that's in Detroit as well. And then we have the Toronto Raptors, who we played a very close game, but another team that's heading in the opposite direction. So we have a nice little schedule. We got a bunch of home games coming up, and we have more opportunities to pad some wins on our on our total to get towards 500 and hopefully get out of that play-in realm into the playoff part. But we're going to see how things go, and stay tuned. I'll be at the game tonight against the Timberwolves, and we'll see about getting a recap later on. But please subscribe to Bleacher Speakers on YouTube and Postgame Podcast on all audio aggregators. I'm out.